Okay, today we're going to be doing the BandLab Education Scary Music Project. So find where that project's located inside of Google Classroom. We have all the directions here, and we'll open those up. So this is the easy link. Just as a reminder, if this is the first couple times you're going to BandLab, you can click on this link. It always take you to BandLab Education, not the regular BandLab, or you can just search BandLab Education. And there's also if you haven't created your account yet by chance, it is going to be create your BandLab student account right there. That'll give you all those things you need to create your account, add codes, etc., etc. All right, so let's get into it. No matter what class you are in, doesn't really matter at this point because we're not actually doing projects inside of Google Classroom. Inside of BandLab. We're not turning them in, I should be saying. We are going to be exporting them or saving them to the desktop and then turning into Google Classroom. So all we need to focus on is right here is My Library, which is this little folder in the upper right hand corner, okay? And then you can follow along with this video with the directions. So in here we got our classes. No matter what class you're in, it doesn't matter. We just really need to focus on this little folder right there. That's the My Library folder. When you click on that, you'll have previously saved projects here, which you can click on 3 dots to open, or you can start a new project by just clicking on Mix Editor. So for this scary music project, we're going to be doing digital instruments, which if your keyboard is actually connected to MIDI, we can do it and play it for those pianists, or if you prefer, we can use your mouse and play it that way as well. You can also, a third option is to use your typing keyboard on your actual QWERTY keyboard. So we're going to start by clicking on Instruments. We're going to go down to Instruments in the bottom left hand corner and click on Strings. Then we're going to do, first one we're going to do Violin, Solo Violin. You can always listen to what these sound like by clicking on the play button there. And then last but not least, I'm just going to skip ahead and go ahead while we're selecting things and choose our effects. The effects I'm going to choose would be String Echo because it's strings. We want a nice scary echoey sound. Let's go back to the instrument page. I prefer pitch, so I actually want to see what the actual notes are because we're going to be learning them anyways. And we're going to be starting on the farthest note to the right and holding the notes with the mouse or your piano or your QWERTY keyboard for 4 beats, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And you're moving each note, so don't skip the black notes, or if there's no black note in between, you're just going to the next white note. So all these notes in order slowly until you get to the B. That should be about 11 or 12 measures if I remember correctly. So we'll need to turn on this thing right here, the metronome. That is green when you're good to go. And then you will have 4 beats for nothing, as we say, 4 clicks to get you ready to feel what the pulse is when you click that red record button. So be ready to go on that first note. You're going to have to scroll down really quick to that G or play it on your keyboard. So 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you can stop it with your space bar, or there's a stop button up there too. I held the last one for 8 beats. That's fine. You can do it longer or shorter. That's fine. Go back and check it. Now that first note comes in a little late. If you want to edit that, you can double click on that and you can see that right there. There's your first MIDI note. You can just see how it switches from an arrow to this. You can just scoot it over to make sure it's right there and lined right up. Let's go back to Instruments. That's great. So at this point you can save it. So let's go ahead and title like we title all of our projects, which is last name, first name, and then project name, which is Scary Music BandLab EDU. That's fine. And then once you're done with that, then you have to click Save. Okay, so make sure you click Save. It's going to do it. Remember, this is a web-based program, so be very careful. If you close it or quit out of it before saving it, it will delete everything. In the bottom left, you can see it says project saved, so we can move on. We're going to add a new track now. We're going to add a cello, so click on add track. Instruments again. And again, we have to switch it. The default instrument is piano, so we're going to switch it to cello. So if that's a string instrument. And then let's go to cello section. You can choose another cello if you want, that's fine. Let's throw those effects on there again, string echo, and we're ready to go. Go back to our instrument. This time we're going to be going from the left side, the lower notes, and we're only going to be playing note 1, 2, and 3, and then going back to 2 and then 1. 4 beats each, so 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Or C, C sharp, D, D, C sharp, C on your piano. So again, you have to move this playhead back to the beginning, or the easier way is you can click return on your keyboard, or you can hit that rewind button too. 4 beats for nothing. 2, here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. Turn that down just a little bit. And at this point, save it again, save it often. Again, it is web-based, can't say that enough. All right, so now we're going to add a new track, but this time we're going to add a loop. So under Browse Loops, we can go and close out this instrument thing here. We're now in loops over here. It's clicked on green. I don't like vibes, so I'd prefer that you go to packs, and then we can search through packs. Back on the directions, we have a whole list of all these. So all these are good ones that you can find. 80s horror, Scream is another good one, so we'll just search those two. And that's just in that search engine option right there. So Scream. So you can click on Scream and just find a Scream that you like. I forget where. That one's a little hardcore. Okay, I don't know which one you like, but to get them over there, double click them. That'll bring them to the beginning, and then you can kind of move them around as you see fit. You can listen to a couple of them. That one kind of has a nice start, so I think I'm going to maybe move this one over a bit and put that one at the beginning. And then maybe I will possibly, maybe I could start a new. Let's go ahead and delete that one just by clicking on it and clicking backspace. And then you can double click and you can do a second one. I would suggest you put them on different tracks, because then you can adjust the individual volumes a little better. We can double select these and move them over with the hand. Just a note, super important for other projects, and this one as well too. When you go over to the side here, these two options right here, I'll zoom in. Don't ever use this bracket, because that breaks the loop. Every time you want to do it, you want to think about using just the loop one, and as you can see, this is where that loop starts again. So this is measure 11, and the thing to think about, that right here, it just says 20 seconds, but you can click on this and change it to beats and measures, and we know this is now bar 11 beat 1, and very specifically that. So if you were lining up other ones or bringing in another one, you would have to know where they line up. Now you can see where they are by the discolor right there, but just a heads up on that side note too. It's a major problem a lot of my students have with getting stuff mixed up. So I'm going to select these. I'm just going to move them over and then kind of just feel out how I want to play this out here. And at this point you can turn the metronome off. Okay, I want those to come in a little sooner, maybe like there. You're going to change the volume levels. The one thing to watch out for is make sure your screen is large enough, because if you make it too small, look at this area right here. This is your master volume. You will lose sight of that. See, it went away. So make sure your screen is big enough to where you can actually see this little thing underneath there, and you'll see if it's too loud. For some reason this video is not showing you, but if you're seeing all red, that's doing what's called clipping, which means that it's actually distorting, and you don't want to do that, so you're gonna have to lower those volume down. And then we don't ever want to touch this. This is called the master volume. Leave it at 0, and you just adjust these individual volume levels here. On this list, there's a bunch of other options here. You can check those out, add as many as you want. Let's do at least 3, please. There's some extension options. If you actually want to record your voice here, you can borrow one of my microphones and we can put distortions on it. You can also even make a whole another second section with some of these, like a lot of these packs, like what do we do? It was like, what was it called here? It was Evil Trap. That's right. So Evil Trap was one that actually has beats and stuff, so you could make a whole, maybe a second section that comes in with actual beats and stuff. You know, you can check out where your instruments are. You could start to bring in like a kit. You know, you could start bringing in some of these beats maybe a little bit later down. Then you can start bringing in maybe a bass line, etc., etc. So that's pretty much the gist of it. When you're done with it, make sure you save it, and then we're going to export it to the desktop. So we have to save it to the desktop so that we can drag and drop it into Google Classroom. So we go to File, we go to Download, we go to Mix Down As. This may take a little while because it's web-based and you're taking all these sounds and you're squishing them together into one track. Does take a little while. Then you're going to choose, I would say just go with highest quality MP3 is fine. And then we click download. That's going to download. That's going to take a little while. And for Chrome, it's going to be a little icon up here, a download icon, like a square with a down arrow. This is where the download is going to be. And then what we're going to do is we're going to scoot our screen over so that we can, there it is. Okay, so what we can do is take this, we're going to drag it to our desktop, and from there we would go back to Google Classroom. We would open up that assignment and click View Details down here, and then it has a turn-in option. You're going to click on that turn-in option, and then you'll select File. And then File, when you select File, a window will pop it up where you can actually drag and drop. You'll click and drag and drop this in there, click Turn In, and you are done.